Hey guys, thank you for watching the SlatRock channel. If you're new here, please subscribe to our channel and check out our previous video, Top 10 WWE Wrestlers Rumored to Join the WWE Main Roster After WrestleMania 34. Promoters spend a lot of time building up a wrestler's image to match their in-ring persona. However, reality sometimes steps in, leading to all sorts of hilarity and a complete loss of reputation for a WWE superstar. Here are top 15 WWE infamous wrestling stories that shatter the image of these WWE superstars. Number 15. The Big Show vs. Khali. When The Big Show confronted the Great Khali about Khali stealing his moves, including the Big Show chop, tempers flared and the Big Show took a swing at Khali. Seeing how Khali's repertoire consists of 3 moves, you'd think the Big Show would have cut him some slack. Khali blocked the punch, and the two tussled until Big Show tripped over a gym bag or a chair. Wrestlers broke the fight up with Khali being declared the winner. Khali may have been known for straining himself in the ring when it came to basic moves like walking, but this night, the Big Show was the blundering beast who got beat. For a while, the big monster image of The Big Show became a joke for some wrestlers. Number 14. Sid Vicious vs. Brian Pillman. Is Sid Vicious a bully? That's a question we'll leave for you to decide. It was October 12, 1991. WCW had a house show at the Omni in Atlanta, and the WWF had a house show there the next night. This was a rare occurrence, and because both companies were in town, wrestlers from both promotions were hanging out together at the bar. Sid Vicious had just gone from WCW to WWF in August of 1991, so he had friends at the company and was visiting with them. With alcohol being consumed, tempers began to flare. According to several sources, including one eyewitness, Sid approached Pillman and Mike Graham and was boasting about how great his new employer WWF was and how messed up his old employer WCW was. Sid also insulted Pillman about how he cannot succeed in the business because of his short size. This pissed off Brian Pillman and he kicked the big guy's ass. After Pillman proved himself the better fighter, Sid left the bar, only to return with a squeegee as a weapon, adding insult to his injury, but unfortunately that didn't help Sid either. He ended up being a jackass in front of other WCW wrestlers. An even uglier incident happened at the Moat House Hotel in Blackburn, Lancashire, England on October 27, 1993, when Sid and highly respected locker room veteran Arn Anderson got into a dust-up. This led to Vicious grabbing a pair of scissors and stabbing Anderson, nearly killing him. It should be noted that Anderson may have initially charged Vicious with the scissors. The locker room soured on Vicious and WCW was forced to fire him. This indeed shattered his badass image. Number 13. Dynamite Kid vs. Jacques Rougeau. Although the Dynamite Kid was a remarkable performer in the ring, by most accounts he was a wretched human being, playing cruel pranks on wrestlers, beating up rookies in the ring, and bullying anyone around him. One of those wrestlers Dynamite plagued was Jacques Rougeau, who finally had enough. The French-Canadian star took a roll of quarters and punched Dynamite square in the face, relieving the bully of his teeth. While one might expect reprisals, Vince McMahon made it clear that none would be accepted, and nothing came of it other than many wrestlers enjoying Dynamite's comeuppance. Number 12. Melina's affair with Batista. Dave Batista developed a reputation for more than an ego. He also developed one as someone who liked to sleep with the WWE divas, and while Batista's conquests never reached the level of CM Punk's, he did okay. One rendezvous that went wrong was when Batista slept with Melina, who was dating John Morrison at the time. The affair didn't hurt Batista as much as it did Melina, who was looked down upon by fans and coworkers, and still is. Some believe John Morrison's WWE push also got hurt because Vince McMahon viewed Morrison as weak following the affair. Number 11. Michael Hayes' racist comments. Fabulous Freebird Michael Hayes has earned a reputation as someone who likes to drink to excess and holds some viewpoints on race more akin to the antebellum South. Considering Hayes used to boast of his nights drinking Jack Daniels and that his ring robe was patterned on a Confederate flag, is anyone really surprised at either? Hayes reportedly told Mark Henry, "I'm more of an N-word than you are." The fact that Hayes is still alive and working for WWE is shocking, but then again, this is the same company that saw Vince McMahon use the N-word on a pay-per-view. Hayes was suspended for 60 days and still works for WWE. Number 10. RVD stopped Taz's bullying. As you can see, wrestlers sometimes let their on-air persona go to their head. One such wrestler was ECW's Taz, who viewed himself as a legitimate tough guy and looked down on other wrestlers. The diminutive Taz may have been suffering from a Napoleon complex, but Rob Van Dam cured him of it thanks to a game of Pick the Hand. RVD asked Taz to pick a hand, and when Taz did, RVD slapped Taz in the face with said hand. When Taz didn't respond, he was exposed as a paper tiger, and his bullying stopped. RVD has spread the story repeatedly in interviews, putting the legend of Tough Man Taz to rest. Number 9. Vince McMahon routinely humiliating Jim Ross. For a man who's in the WWE Hall of Fame for his legendary announcing, you'd think Vince McMahon would treat Jim Ross with more respect. That hadn't been the case through the years, as McMahon has gone out of his way to embarrass Ross on screen and off. Whether it was McMahon making fun of Ross's health woes with his Dr. Heine skit, or McMahon firing Ross because Ross's Bell's palsy hurt his image, McMahon has treated Ross with contempt, confirming McMahon's image as both a bully and a jerk. Number 8. Hulk Hogan ruined WCW wrestlers' careers. Over the years, Hulk Hogan has developed a reputation for putting his career first and everyone else's second. And while Hogan is by no means the only wrestler to do so, it's garnered him a lot of notoriety, particularly for his run in WCW. Hogan's creative control clause meant that he could veto any idea WCW put in front of him that he didn't like. One such idea was when WCW wanted to shock fans by having Vader defeat Hulk Hogan for the WCW Championship on Nitro. Hogan, who'd already complained about Vader working too stiff, said no, and the idea went out the proverbial window. Source: James Dixon's Titan Sinking. The ultimate example is when Sting faced Hogan at 1997's Starrcade, arguably the company's biggest show at the time. Rather than putting Sting over clean, Hogan ruined the match by altering the finish without anyone's notice. The original finish was supposed to be referee Nick Patrick making a fast count on Sting, only for Bret Hart to intervene and save the day. Instead, Hogan convinced Patrick to make a slow count, making Hart's interference look bad on his and Sting's part. Source: James Dixon's Titan Screwed. This is just one story about Hogan. We need another 2 hours to reveal all of the stories. Number 7. Goldberg loses backstage fight to Chris Jericho. Bill Goldberg's undefeated streak in WCW put him over as the company's #1 babyface. However, when Goldberg arrived in WWE, Chris Jericho showed him there's a world of difference between worked matches and shoots. Goldberg hadn't won Jericho over during their time together in WCW after Bill nixed plans for a Goldberg Y2J program, feeling Jericho wasn't a credible opponent. Reportedly, Goldberg talked down to Y2J in the WWE as well, resulting in Jericho taking Goldberg down and easily controlling him until the fight was broken up. Goldberg's reputation suffered, and his first run in WWE may have been lackluster because of the Jericho incident. Number 6. Sheamus gets beat up by smaller wrestlers. Irish superstar Sheamus got a huge push during his early run in WWE, portrayed as a take-no-prisoners grappler who overpowered anyone in his sights. However, the Celtic Warrior's image took a hit due to a couple of infamous backstage stories. Let's take a look at 2 such stories. 1. Sin Cara vs. Sheamus. Sin Cara has developed a reputation for backstage fights, so much that he could market himself as Finlay version 2.0. My name is Sin Cara, and I like to fight. Here, Sin Cara was being attended to backstage on a training table when Sheamus walked in and demanded Sin Cara get off the table as he considered himself a bigger star. Sheamus threw the first punch, but Sin Cara swept his legs, easily taking care of the big man. Sheamus can now add his name to a list of Sin Cara victims, including Simon Gotch of the Vaudevillains and Chris Jericho. 2. Yoshitatsu vs. Sheamus. The Sin Cara incident apparently wasn't the first time Sheamus's ego got the better of him. One story has it that Sheamus was roommates with Ted DiBiase Jr. and Yoshitatsu when his roommates approached him about his slovenly use of protein shakers. Sheamus threw the protein shaker at Tatsu, daring him to do something about it, and do something Tatsu did, with Sheamus soon on the receiving end of an ass-whooping. No word on whether anyone threw a handful of protein powder in their opponent's eyes. All of his tough guy image took a major plunge because of these incidents. Number 5. Buff Bagwell's mom calling in sick for him. In hindsight, Buff Bagwell is the type of wrestler who managed to fly under the radar for years, earning sizable checks in WCW despite average ability and a bad attitude. Bagwell's good luck continued when Vince McMahon hired him on a whim as part of the WCW invasion angle. Even after Bagwell worked a half-hearted match with Booker T, he seemed to have a WWF future. That changed, however, when Bagwell's backstage demeanor rubbed many colleagues the wrong way, including Shane Helms, who beat up Bagwell backstage. After the embarrassing loss, Bagwell no-showed Raw, and Jim Ross claims Buff had his mom call in sick for him. Turns out, Buff didn't have the stuff for wrestling, although he has found work as a gigolo. Number 4. Enzo Amore's locker room exile. Enzo Amore may claim to be the realest guy in the room, but that's not saying much considering he'd been kicked out of the WWE locker room. Amore's bad attitude and arrogance annoyed his fellow wrestlers, which continued building until Roman Reigns booted Amore off a WWE tour bus. Reportedly, Enzo was driving his fellow wrestlers crazy by having a loud phone conversation on the bus. Amore has allegedly been unrepentant, and the WWE locker room has responded by barring him from the dressing room. Number 3. Batista gets beat up by Booker T. The WWE pushed Dave Batista to the moon, marketing the animal as a powerhouse who demolished opponents with his Batista bomb. Apparently, Batista started believing the hype and began looking down on other wrestlers around him. Veteran Booker T gave Batista a reality check when their verbal altercation turned into a physical one. The two were filming a commercial for SummerSlam 2006 when things got hot, and Booker slapped the taste out of Batista's mouth. No word on whether Booker chanted 5 time as he punched out the animal. Ironically, the two would wrestle that night following the incident. Another example of the crazy environment wrestlers work in. Booker T's victory in the fight with Batista has earned him extra locker room respect. Number 2. Sonny's affair with Shawn Michaels. Chris Candido was a talented WWF superstar who found his career hampered by the Clique as well as his own girlfriend, Sonny. Sonny had a fling with the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, with wrestlers constantly telling Candido about it. Candido refused to believe what was in front of his eyes, losing status in the eyes of other wrestlers who saw him as weak for not doing anything. Sonny's actions saw her vilified, but that was just one of many low points in her life. Number 1. Joey Styles knocks out JBL. John Bradshaw Layfield had a surprise turnaround when he went from tag team wrestler Bradshaw to world champion JBL. And we all know as a successful color commentator too. Along the way, JBL also earned a reputation as a bully, terrorizing wrestlers and staff alike with cruel pranks. One person who wasn't putting up with it though was ECW's famed announcer Joey Styles, a man who confronted the much larger JBL during a flight en route to a tribute to the Troop show in 2008. Rumor has it JBL had emptied a bucket of ice water on ring announcer Lillian Garcia, angering Styles. When JBL tried to bully Styles, the much smaller man knocked JBL senseless, dropping the big man, and according to some reports, knocking him out. The story has served as a lesson that standing up to bullies is sometimes the best way to handle them. Be sure to leave your comments and like our video. If you did like this video, be sure to check out some of our other videos. And also, hit that subscribe button to see more videos just like this one, and that bell icon to get notified every time we post a new video. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and as always, thanks for watching.